What's going on, guys? BriarRabbit here. Today I want to talk about who won E3. So we've seen all the major press conferences, we've seen a ton of gameplay demos and trailers hit YouTube, and I've been watching a lot of it. I've been consuming content like crazy because I'm just so interested in what the next few years are really going to hold, and I feel like that's what we got from E3 this year. We didn't get a whole lot of what's going to happen at the end of 2014. We got what's going to happen in 2015 and beyond. So I really wanted to talk about kind of who I thought won, who did the best job of selling me and gamers in general on buying into their platform, buying their console. And obviously the contenders here are PlayStation 4, Sony, Xbox One, Microsoft, and Wii U, Nintendo. So I think of all three of them, Nintendo had the most exclusives. They had Xenoblade Chronicles, Super Smash Bros. U, Splatoon, Hyrule Warriors, Bayonetta, Yoshi's Woolly World, Mario Party 10, Mario Maker, which I'm actually the most excited about any game at E3, Kirby, Devil's Third, Captain Toad, Treasure Tracker, and Swords and Soldiers. Soldiers, that's hard to say. So of all of the platforms, Nintendo obviously had the most exclusives, but that's what Nintendo does. They have a ton of exclusives. They're probably one of the most prolific and best developers in the history of video games, and that's very important if you're a Nintendo fan. What the problem is for me with the Wii U is that if I want to play Battlefield 4, or I want to play Battlefield Hardline, or I want to play Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, or any of these like big multi-platform shooters or games, you know, like Destiny, then I either have to play kind of a downgraded, low-res version, kind of similar to what you get on the Xbox 360 or the PS3, or I might not get it at all, which happens a lot of the case, and I think will happen more frequently as the Xbox 360 and the PS3 lose popularity from people buying into PS4 and Xbox One. So if you're going to be a Nintendo fan, you really have to be a Nintendo fan because you're not going to get a lot of third-party support. And that's been a problem for Nintendo for a long time. It's really it's a bed that they made for themselves, and I don't feel bad for them. But to me, even though Nintendo's got all these awesome exclusives, there's no way that it could be my primary console, the only console I had in the house. There's just no way. It's really a secondary console because basically when I buy into Nintendo, I'm buying into Nintendo as a developer. And I wish that they would develop for another console because they're not that good at developing consoles. They're really great at developing games. And this didn't change that opinion for me at all. Yes, I'm really excited to get my hands on Yoshi's Woolly World. I think that game looks amazing. It's just, it's got a graphical style to it that I just want to immerse myself in. Mario Maker is a day one purchase for me. I can't wait to start exploring that. Can't wait to start building my own levels. I really hope that it's a really powerful tool, and I hope that I can share those levels online. Other than that, I'm not a big Super Smash Bros. Fan. I know that a lot of people are. It just doesn't speak to me. When I play a fighter, I prefer Tekken or Street Fighter. That's just a personal preference thing. Xenoblade also didn't really speak to me. I'm not a big JRPG fan. Hyrule Warriors, I can't stand Dynasty Warriors, so just adding Zelda into it doesn't make anything better for me. Bayonetta, I actually never played the original Bayonetta. I heard it was great. Bayonetta 2 looked like a lot of fun, but it definitely looks like something I was playing on the Xbox 360 or the PS3, so I'm not that excited about playing version 2 of it. It just graphically doesn't hook me in. I am ready to move up to the next generation, right? I'm ready for that. Yoshi's Woolly World I already talked about. I can't wait to get my hands on that. And a bunch of the other games in there, they just don't speak to me personally. Splatoon, I thought was very interesting. The way you can like spray your ink across the level, and that's kind of how you win the game. That was a new concept that I'd never seen before in a shooter, and I love shooters. Third-person shooter, I would prefer if it was a first-person, but third-person is fine. I thought it was a really innovative and great idea. However, I was thinking to myself, how long am I going to play with that for? Because it's a gimmick, right? And how long is that gimmick really going to hold on to me for? So I might pick it up. Me and the kids might play it. I might play it a little online, but I'd be surprised if I'm playing it for a year like I would for Call of Duty or something like that. So overall, I thought that Nintendo had me the least excited for the future. Yes, there was a new Zelda game announced. Who knows when that'll come out? Is it 2015? Is it 2016? Is it even going to be on the Wii U? You know, will it be on the next Nintendo console? We don't really know these things yet. No new Mario game, like Mario Core game, was announced, which was too bad. No new Metroid was announced, and that, you know, that makes me upset. So a lot of people are thinking really highly of Nintendo coming out of their E3 kind of video montage that they did. It excited me while I was watching it, but afterward I was still thinking, you know, if I want to play Destiny, it's not going to be on the Wii U. If I want to play this game or that game, it's not going to be on the Wii U. It's going to be on the PS4, it's going to be on the Xbox One. So to me, Nintendo was a backup console, like a secondary console. It would never be my primary console. And they didn't sell me on a change, in my opinion, going forward. Next, I want to talk about Sony. So Sony, I would think, had the least great press conference, right? There were a lot of times when I was watching that press conference where I was downright bored. But at the same time, there were a lot of times where I was the most excited than I was during all the press conferences, right? I love the Xbox One presentation. I thought the Nintendo presentation was really good. But some of the things that Sony said had me the most hyped out of all of the press conferences. Giving away the Battlefield hardline beta codes, I thought that was a great idea. You can download this, you know, tomorrow. Also, they showed Entwined, which actually you're seeing in this video. That was available the day of E3, so you could go home and download it right away. Or if you were watching online like I was, you could download that right away. Also, Destiny Alpha Access. Even though I didn't get a code yet, hopefully, Bungie, please send me a code. That is amazing. They said, okay, here's Destiny, here's a white PS3 or PS4, here's all this stuff to get excited about, and you can play Destiny this week in alpha form, and you'll be able to play the beta in July. So, I mean, that was really big news. That was a really great way to get excited, get people really pumped up, was not by saying, here's what's coming out in 2015, but here's something you can play this week. Here's something you can play today. I thought that was phenomenal. I thought that was really a fun idea. Xbox One did that as well for one game, but PlayStation did it for 3 games, and I thought that was pretty amazing. The Order. Okay, so The Order looks fantastic to me. How that game is going to play is really questionable. A lot of people have been talking about the frame rate. I guess the developers have come out and said they've made a decision to go with 30 frames per second instead of 60 frames per second so they can up the graphic quality, which not always a good decision. Hopefully in this case it'll work out for them. Little Big Planet 3, that game to me, okay, so I love Little Big Planet, the first game, but I got sick of it quickly because of the controls. The jumping just never felt right. I grew up in a world where Mario set the standard for perfect controls, and Little Big Planet just didn't follow up. They had all these great level creation tools, and there's all sorts of things you can do, and Sackboy was super charming, the whole world was charming, but the game was frustrating to play because the controls just weren't there. So if they nail the controls in Little Big Planet 3, this could be one of my favorite games of all time. Unfortunately, I don't see it. I mean, even in the demo, they had a hard time jumping, and that was too bad. Bloodborne, which I hilariously thought they said blood porn when they announced it on stage. That's not my kind of game. It's going to be one of those games that you got to hate yourself to play, so it's not my thing. Abzu, I'm definitely getting by the makers the guys who made Journey. That's really exciting stuff. The Last of Us Remastered. You've heard us talking a lot on the Beastly Thoughts show about The Last of Us. I'm excited to replay the single player at this point because it's been long enough, and I want to jump into the multiplayer with some of my friends. Uncharted 4, we only got a brief teaser. I'm sure that game's not going to come out till 2016 because otherwise they would have shown off just a little bit more, I gotta believe. But, I mean, I'm a huge Uncharted fan, so of all those things that they announced, it was really exciting. Entwined was out that day. I mean, that's really cool that you can just open up your PS4 and start downloading the game that is available today. The Destiny stuff, announcing the alpha at the end of the week and the beta next month, that was really exciting. Hardline, Battlefield Hardline, announcing a beta for that was really exciting. So the highs were really, really high on Sony's part. You know, the lows were, they had a bad press conference in certain areas, right? So, but I don't really care about what their press conferences flowed like, right? That's not going to bother me while I'm playing Destiny. I'm not going to be thinking about how they stumbled on stage and lost their momentum. That doesn't matter to me. I think that Sony did an awesome, awesome job. Xbox also did an awesome job. They focused on games in a way that was really exciting. Last year, they definitely stumbled at E3. I think people could see them stumbling on their way to E3. What they did this year was they said, we're sorry, now we know what you want, and here it is, we're going to give it to you. They blew it out of the park with games. They showed off Horizon 2, which looked really fun. Sunset Overdrive, everybody's talking about how cool that game looks. Sunset Overdrive, right? That game looks like it is, like, they have pulled everything fun about video games, thrown it into one like brew pot and just stirred it around and are pouring it out into a game. That game looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. Dance Central, I'm not a Dance Central person, right? I've never played it. But while they were playing it on stage, I was kind of like, that could be kind of fun. I don't know. Fable didn't have me interested at all. I've been burnt too many times by Fable. I'm sorry, I'm not willing to sign up again. If that game's gonna have to get like perfect scores across the board for me to even look at it. Ori. This game looked phenomenal. While I was watching that trailer, I was getting emotionally attached to the characters, and that is a phenomenal feat to do with a 2D platforming game. I am so excited for Ori. I can't even wait for that game to show up. It is definitely one of my most anticipated games of the entire conference. Halo Master Chief Edition. I've played every Halo game up to this point. Halo Combat Evolved, I hold up as one of like those life-changing games, right? Playing first-person shooters up to that point had primarily been corridor affairs, right? You're walking down a corridor, you're really just kind of shooting, you're aiming, shooting. Halo changed all that up. It brought into these big black battlefields with like tanks rolling around and you're driving warthogs, and the enemies actually felt smart. They felt like real AI for the first time. Halo Combat Evolved is one of my favorite games of all time, and it will remain so. I don't know if I'm ready to play it again yet. I don't know if I'm ready to pay $60 for all of those games. Getting all 100 multiplayer maps, that is amazing. Being able to get Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, and Halo 4's multiplayer all in distinct chunks so they actually play like the original games, that could be a lot of fun. Getting Halo Combat Evolved's pistol out again in multiplayer, that could be a lot of fun. But it is a game that I've been playing for an awful long time. So, I don't know. It's cool, but I don't know that I'm super excited about it. Phantom Dust, I have no idea what that game was. I know it's supposed to be this cult hit on the original Xbox. Xbox Old, I think I'll start calling it. But, the trailer didn't even speak to me whatsoever. It was a bunch of emo people that didn't really... I don't know. I didn't care. Scalebound, I was into that game except for the main character. The main character was just so ridiculous that it pulled me out of the whole experience. The way he like put on his Beats headphones and kind of winks at the camera. Everything else looks awesome, like the big dragon fights and like being able to fly the dragons in the air and have fights up there and fighting the Hydra on the ground. All of that stuff looked really fun, except that if there's that stupid main character like just being him, I'm just not interested in that game. And then Crackdown. So I love the original Crackdown. Everybody played Crackdown because you had to buy it to get the pre-order for, I think it was Halo 3. It might have been Halo 2, it might have been Halo 3. I think it was Halo 3. So everybody played that game, and everybody fell in love with it. It was just so much fun. It was an open world game where you're just so immensely powerful. You had to collect the orbs, added some replayability. Thing is that has been so done now. Saints Row is doing that. Everybody's doing it. There's a ton of games like that now. So what is Crackdown gonna bring that is new? They have been copied now, so they have to up the bar. And I don't know. That trailer looked cool, but it was totally scripted. It was totally a movie. There was absolutely zero gameplay. If we see that in 2016, I'd be surprised. It may be as far out as 2017. So even though the trailer looked cool for Crackdown, and I really love the original game, I can't get that excited about something that's that far away and that's that questionable. So overall, who do I think won E3? I think I won E3. I think I personally won E3. These game companies are making so many games that I want to play. We didn't even talk about all the multi-platform games that are coming out. I mean, it's going to be a great year for video games. The end of this year is really solid, but 2015 looks like it's going to be one of those like spectacular years in video games, like those truly, truly spectacular years where there's just so many great games coming out that you don't have time to play with them. Of the three companies, who do I think won? I really got to give it to Sony. When I was watching their press conference, yeah, there were long parts of it that were really boring, but the stuff that they announced that got me excited, like the stuff where I felt they were speaking right to me, was really exciting. It got me the most excited. Nintendo had the most exclusives, and I'll give them that, but when I play Destiny, when I play the games I really care about, like, you know, Advanced Warfare, it's not going to be on the Wii U. It's going to be on the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One. I thought Microsoft did an awesome job. I would actually give them second place over Nintendo. However, I just felt like the PlayStation 4 had more exclusives that talked to me. So let me know down in the comments what you guys thought. Who do you think won E3? I think that the gamers definitely won E3. I think that we've got a lot to really look forward to. But I really think that of the three big consoles, I think that Sony really knocked it out of the park. I would say that their press conference was probably the worst of the three press conferences. But what they announced and what they were talking about, even with the white PS3, the Destiny edition of the PS3, and announcing the PlayStation TV, which is a $100 peripheral that you can play PlayStation 4 games on a different television. It connects to your PlayStation 4. Even the hardware stuff that they talked about, that just got me the most excited. You know, and I hate to say that I'm a PlayStation 4 fanboy because I'm not, you know, but this time around, this E3, I really feel like they announced so much great stuff that I'm really excited about that it really took the award for me. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Who you think won the E3 award this year? Who you think had the best showing overall? And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.